I can't see anything I'm doing. Hey everybody, this is Charles Morgan from CoinWeek, and I'm here as promised to go over some magnification options and things that I use and other collectors and professionals use in the hobby. So you can take this cheap loupe you bought at the bookstore and throw it in the trash because you're not going to need it after we talk about some of these great products that will elevate your collecting hobby and allow you to do the things that you want to do much more efficiently and with better results. So right now I'm wearing a tool. It's a very specialized tool that you usually don't see. You won't see very often on the bourse floor. But if you are at a company where they process a lot of collections and sort a lot of coins, you might see this. This is an optivisor. And the one I have is a 3.5 magnification. I think it's the biggest magnification they offer. And what you would do with a piece like this, and I'm basically looking at a computer screen that is completely blurry because the focal point is right here. You know, this is how far away from the lens the focal point is. But at this distance, everything is tack sharp. And usually what you see is people or dealers might go through coin rolls or sets, and they'll have a sorter, like a specialist who is able to look at the coins very quickly, and they start to sort them based on quality, whether or not the coins are worth processing for grading. This is a 1974 Lincoln cent I'm holding up, and what I'm seeing at this magnification, I can't see whether or not it's a double die or anything like that, and I can probably, I would say, fairly decently be able to grade the coin with a little bit of practice at this kind of magnification because it is 3.5. But I can tell right now that there's a little bit of corrosion on the cheek of the coin and some copper spots on the back and a couple grade limiting scratches. So I would immediately be able to reject this, put this coin in the reject file, grab another coin, and continue the process. Again, if I'm looking for double dies or anything that's very, very specific, this isn't going to be quite enough magnification to pull that out. But if I'm just sorting for, dates or mint marks or wear or quality in a very basic sortable fashion, then you would use an optivisor. And I think also if you're a professional and you're doing coin restoration work, like let's say you've professionally dipped a coin and you're making sure you got all the residue off, a product like this may be the type of tool that you'd want to have. The fact that it has this nice headband that is adjustable, it's a sturdy plastic device, and I think these things run about $60, $70. We have them on our CoinWeek supply site if you want to add one to your collection. But again, it's a very specialized piece of gear. Moving on up, the problem with looking at coins through glass is something that I don't know if there's ever been a perfect answer. I personally use an ESCHENBACH triplet, which I'll show you later. But there are a number of things that I don't like about the smaller magnifiers, and part of it is like on a bigger coin, I like the idea of being able to see the whole field. But the thing about glass is the more you magnify, the better the glass, the less distortion there is, the thicker it has to be, the heavier it gets to be. So you always have to make some degree of compromise. If we're going to talk about an inexpensive magnifier that is of fairly good quality and will give you a lot of bang for the buck, I would recommend that you look for a piece like this. This is a BAUSCH and LOMB 5x PACKETTE magnifier, and you see it's plastic, and so therefore it is not going to be like as precise a magnifier as one of the more expensive ones that has glass and metal or more sturdy pieces. But with this magnifier, you can look at a coin, you can see most of the field. It does have a very limited focal point, so you're going to be in the middle of the magnifier, so there's going to be distortion around the perimeter. But you can see enough of the coin to get a good sense of it. You know, if you're going to go to a coin show and you just want to look at some coins in the holders, knowing that the convection lighting isn't the greatest, you know, this is a great magnifier for that. This also is cheap. It's $8.69. Now, from a construction standpoint, this is the moving part. There feels like there's like a little bit of give to it, you know, when you open it up. And this might be the kind of thing where it's this plastic hinge that slides here could get distressed with enough movement, and it could break. But you're talking about $8 or $9. You know, there's no reason why, you know, using it for 6 or 8 months and it breaks and you feel like, gosh, I got ripped off this cheap piece of crap. You know, you pay another $8 or $9, you get another one, it'll last another 8 or 9 months, and you're fine and you're good to go on it. So that is an affordable option. I think is better than your 16 power cheapy $10 loop you might find at the local shop. Moving on from that, another option, if you want the bigger loop situation, is this. I'm turning on these LED lights, and I'm going to talk about those in a minute. So a magnifier like this, I got this gold flakes from the SS Central America, and I'm going to look through it. You know, you really do get a really wide view of the whole holder at this point. I can see the entire holder. It's about, I think this is a double magnification in its big form. Yeah, the big glass is double. It does have sort of like a bifocal, a smaller point that you can look in, and then that will get you to 4x magnification. So you can, you know, you can sort of, again, sort things fairly quickly. And this is a good option if you're just looking for a little bit of detail on something and you want that big thing. Maybe you're like me and you don't see as well as you used to. You know, I used to have 20/10 vision and I don't feel that way anymore. So this is a good thing for even for reading. However, they advertise this light situation. The first thing is, and I'm going to flash in your face, but LED lights are really not ideal for coin grading, and incandescent light, I think, so far has been the best solution. With these lights, they are not diffused, so they will show plenty of glare in certain types of surfaces. Like a proof coin will be glare. You'll see, you know, you'll have, you know, it'll be in the way of some of the details. You know, the way coins shimmer, it could be really distracting. It takes a AA battery, but I kind of prefer not using it, and maybe instead getting an incandescent bulb overhead and then kind of looking underneath it this way. But again, this is a basic light that you could, a magnifier that you could use. You don't have to use the light, and you know, you're talking about something like this. You're in the $35, $36 range. It is made out of plastic. You know, you don't want to be too rough with it, and you know, so it does have sort of a limited purpose, but you're getting a little bit. You're definitely getting more precision optics than you would get with the smaller magnifiers and the cheaper magnifiers. So that's the Bausch & Lomb 4-inch magnifier with LED illumination. Another step up from that, and I think there are two types of coin dealers that I see at shows when I say, can I borrow your glass? One is the type of coin dealer that loses their loupe all the time, and the other is the kind that doesn't. For the dealer that tends to like lose track of things, this Bausch & Lomb Sight Saver, this is a loupe that is good quality. It's sort of a mid-range product. It is a 7-time magnification, and I don't have the price in front of me. I think they run about $50. This is the loupe I usually take with me to the coin shows, just in case I do lose it. But when I'm in my office and I'm looking at coins, I'm probably not using it. The optics are really sharp. They're very clear, and the great thing about it is, you know, it's affordable. I don't necessarily like the adjustable loupes, the ones that have like, you know, the 6 magnification and the 3 on the other, and you feel like you have these two pieces that are moving. This is one thick piece of glass, so there's less that can go wrong. It's got a metal body. It is sturdy. These things are like tanks. They will not break easily, and this is an option. I would say if you're an intermediate or advanced collector and you don't want to go crazy on buying your loupe, but you want something that is definitely going to do the job, this is probably the best-selling loupe and the professional level. I was talking to some friends of mine in the industry. They probably see these 3 or 4 to 1 to any other loupe that they ever encounter. It comes with a nice velvet pouch when you buy it brand new. And so this is definitely an option you may want to check out. I use, when I'm at home, this ESCHENBACH loupe comes in this box. It looks like this. It does have that one feature I don't like, which is the two pieces of glass. That it's a 6 and a 3, and when it overlaps, it's a 9. The reason I don't like that, I just don't like the extra. I just don't like the extra complication. I would rather have a loupe that's just one magnification. I don't need to keep amping it up. I don't really see much of a point really to have a 9 power magnification on a coin. You know, you do see it a little closer, but you don't really get enough to make out, you know, a lot of the very minute modern double dies or anything like that. So if anything, I just think, you know, I'd rather it just be a 9 or a 6 and just leave the other part alone. This 6 power magnification, when you just have the one open, to me looks even sharper and clearer than the Bausch and LOMB, and runs circles around the cheap stuff. You can get, like I said, your Harris 16 power loupe for like $10 or $15 from your local bookstore, and it doesn't hold a candle to this ESCHENBACH at 6 times. Remember, the grading services are really only looping their coins to 5 to 7 power magnification. They're not really looking beyond that. So at 6 power, you're seeing everything that needs to be seen in order to accurately grade the coin, and there is no distortion at all in the entire piece of glass. I put it on the coin. The perimeter is as sharp as the center, and it's just absolutely perfect. Now, this is a $219 retail price on this magnifier. I think we have it at $160, but it's made in Germany. It's precision engineering, and for the money, if it's a real sophisticated type of coin you're buying, paying a little bit extra to make sure you don't miss something because you looked at it under a loupe and you missed and some of the details were blurred, or you just didn't pay close enough attention. I think you make it up for the price of the purchase of a loupe like this. The last thing I'd like to show you is a system. This is a Leuchtturm 5 megapixel microscope camera. I have an Eisenhower dollar in it, and let me pop that up on the screen. Now, for some reason, when I'm broadcasting this over YouTube, it turns the color of this Ike dollar like a red color, and I don't know if that's some sort of interference with the software we're using. But as you can see here, this is as close as I can get to the coin. It is adjustable. You see that the focus, oh, there it goes. It goes to a nice normal color here. So you see, as I'm bringing the focus out, I'm looking at "In God We Trust." I can bring it down. I can bring it down. I think this is basically touching the coin at this point, and this is as close as it gets. But you can make out some of these double dies, and you know, you can record this on video. Right now, I'm using a Mac. And so there's some gold dust. I'm using a Mac, and therefore I am current Macs do not have a CD drive built in. I had to go to the Celestron website to download the driver to be able to use this microscope. The one thing I don't like, you see those like little white lights? Again, with that big magnifier we had, I showed you that Bausch and LOMB. Those those pointy lights, I think, really interfere with what's going on, because they're omnipresent and they basically close in what you can see. Now, you definitely need your coins to be lit when you're looking at them this closely. But I wish there was an option for a more, like I said, a more diffused light. And you see I'm using the track here. I'm moving the microscope up and down the track. I'm getting into that sweet spot, making it tack sharp there. I also have a camera adjustment, and this is about as close as you're going to get and as sharp as you're going to get looking at your coins. So if you're looking at, there's a coin here. This is a Polish coin from the 16th century. So if you're looking for clash marks, which there's some right there, or you're looking for like doubling in the dies, or maybe if you have some large cents and you're going to look for some varieties, you know, this takes the coin away from your eye, allows you to manipulate it on a tray, and you can look at it close up on your computer. This is a system, not just one piece. So the microscope is separate from the stand. The stand is necessary because otherwise there'd be way too much jiggle. And as you can see, this coin here, it's Eisenhower dollar. You look at this in God We Trust here. It looks like it has some sort of machine doubling on the eye. Also, you see the dies are pretty much had it. There's a lot of die distortion on the date here. That we is just totally warbled. But this is the level that you will get to enjoy magnification by having this device. I think all in told, you're looking at something that's going to cost about $180 for the magnifier, probably $60 for the stand. And that kind of wraps up the things that that I find most interesting about the magnification subject, the things that professional dealers use, things you need to be aware of, that all these products have their own built-in limitations, and how you can basically improve your experience by getting the right equipment. I recommend the ESCHENBACH loupe to the most advanced collectors, but I also recommend the BAUSCH and LOMB 7, Hastings 7. I would probably stay away from the visor unless you really are sorting a lot of coins. I think it's unnecessary unless you have a very specialized need. The bigger magnifier might be something you keep handy. I would not use the light. I think it's not a good light. As far as any other brands that I haven't covered, there are many. I don't necessarily endorse or recommend them because I think that these are essentially the ones you need. Oh, you know what? I just figured out, and I forgot about this. But the magnifier that I was looking at with the light, you can dim the light, but it still has that pointy, non-diffuse light, and all that runs through USB. Now it works on Mac and Windows. So anyway, that runs the gamut of the lighting and or not the lighting, the magnification subject. I'll be back online tomorrow to talk about some of the standard references I think every numismatic library needs, and I'll give you my critique of them, where they fall short and where they excel. I'm going to talk about grading, books about grading. I'm going to talk about reference books. I'm going to talk about just general price guide things that you need to know about. And I have pretty much all the latest, greatest books covering U.S. coins, world coins, and currency, and I will share all of this with you tomorrow. So everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I see if there's any questions I can answer. I'll try to answer them for you before I go. White balance, yeah. So the white balance, you can turn the LED lights off, is what Bill 457 is saying, and he is correct. If you want to focus on an error, use 10 times. You're right if you're trying to focus on errors, but at the same time, it's a very specialized purpose, and it's not something you don't want to look at every coin you have under 10 times or better magnification. And it really is overkill, and you will miss things by focusing on too tight a detail. So anyway, that kind of covers everything I can answer right now. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and thanks for watching.